Sorry, Joel is that guy.
No. Joel gets clapped by John Wick and Jason Bourne any day.
Do you see how much he crouches around? Yeah, he's got strong knees, bro. Strong knees. He can take them all out.
Is that the definition of a strong man? Strong knees.
Don't talk to someone with Meg the Stallion knees. Yeah, he can do anything. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Melanin Gamers Bite-Sized Podcast. This is a new podcast series that MG are starting. It's basically our hot takes that we will be releasing every Monday. And so welcome in. Today I have with me myself, Creatively Anzi, Obsidian Fury,
the prosecution,
and OG Ataku as well. Today. We're going to be talking about The Last of Us, which has been remastered, and a huge thanks to PlayStation, Sony for giving us the game to play, and it sparked off the age-old debate. Two things: are you Team Abbey or are you Team Ellie? And was Joel right? So we're going to give our opinions, and I'm going to go to Obsidian Fury, who's very opinionated on this fact as to the two questions that I just posed.
To be fair, I'm opinionated on everything. So
yeah, I was just thinking that.
yeah, I'm opinionated on everything. I die on small hills, but I'm gonna give my short statement and then we can go from there. So, outside of my opinions on remasters at this point in the industry and if it's worth the price tag, I think that The Last of Us franchise is one of the finest storytelling pieces and experiences I've ever had in a game in a very long time. So much so that they've created an award-winning TV show, which to some of you non-gamers is actually very difficult to do, but because it's very difficult for like games to translate well to TV. But I think that's another podcast for another day. With the new remaster, there's a new mode that's like a roguelike survival mode where you face a horde of enemies and you can decide on different paths to go down. They've also fixed the frame rate issues and they've also updated the graphics to make it an even more immersive experience. Mechanically speaking, it's also great. It builds off the predecessor, such as going into prone, having long grasses and that kind of thing, and the enemies having dogs, and the AI is just overall better. My only mechanical gripe I have with this game is that from part 1 to part 2, they added a lot of features, but the gripe that I have is that if you eliminate all the enemies in an encounter, the last enemy will sometimes surrender, but you can't like progress the game because you kind of have to kill them, because if you turn your back on them, they pick up their weapon. I think that to really enforce the kind of thematic tone of the game, I would have really enjoyed like that kind of decision to be made where it's either when you let them live, they can give you resources, or they can maybe call for reinforcements, and that kind of really set the tone of being a survivor. Now, onto the narrative experience, which always seems to be the point of contention in the fandom. I caught Neil Druckmann, who is the creative director, say in an interview once that he likes to have a simple story with complex characters, and I think that really shines when it comes to the storytelling of The Last of Us. My only issue is that people seem to blur the line between why someone does something as to agreeing to what someone is doing. As for me, I don't like Team Ellie or Team Abbey because it kind of defeats the point of having complex characters. There are no good and bad people, but there's good and bad decisions in a given time. To that point, I think that The Last of Us should have been a trilogy rather than a duology. I don't know if that's a word, but I looked it up on Google and it is. It should have been a duology. I think part 2 should have followed Abbey and have us attach organically to her and basically live her life as a child soldier. And with that game, it will lead up to the events that happened in part 1 at the end, because that would help people understand Abbey and how people like rally around Joel, even though he made an objectively bad decision. That's my take.
Objectively bad is the key word, because I don't know. Would we have made that decision? I won't give my opinion just yet.
No. That's my statement. And if you want to argue, we can argue. But you guys want to have your statements too.
That's not what we're doing right now. Right now, we're all giving our opinions and we'll argue afterwards. OG Ataku, I know you're in a different camp, so let's get your opinion on whether you're Team Joel whether you're Team Abbey or Team Ellie, and whether Joel was right or not.
So yeah, first off, shout out to Naughty Dog and PlayStation for giving us one of the best video games in history, really. definitely give them their flowers. They've brought us many great titles from Crash Bandicoot to this. Um, Joel was right. Maybe Joel did some wrong things, but was he right? Yeah. Why? Because anyone else in this position would do the exact same thing. Like, I know it's that whole needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few kind of conversation, but no one's really trying to hear that when a loved one's in danger. Joe, and in terms of Abby, look, yes, I understand Abby's side. She too has felt pain at the hands of, Joe. So yeah, I see where she's coming from. However, I do believe that there are points in time where someone can, let something slide or just give it up. And I feel like Abby's perseverance to the vengeance cause kind of puts her in the wrong. Like Joe didn't shoot no one that weren't pointing a gun at him first, you know what I mean, until maybe one guy. But Abby was chasing ghosts through the mountains for years. Yeah, on a I hope for this revenge one day tip, and yeah, maybe not a best way to go about that.
I mean, I think both have made very good points. I personally, now I used to be Team Ellie, but when I was playing the game, I would let Abby die because I hate her so much. I despised her. I was like, what the hell happened? I was tearful when she did that to Joel, but whilst I was playing the game, and I think Last of Us is definitely walk a mile in someone else's shoes, because then you start to understand what she did and understand the person that she is. And I remember someone attacked me. I was like, oh, she almost died. And I was like, oh, wait, what? Have I changed my mind? And I think there are no teams. There's no heroes or villains in The Last of Us. There are only the survivors.
Joel's my hero. I don't know what you're saying.
Joel's a serial killer who's like an itchy triggered maniac.
Done what needed to be done.
No. See, we're gonna start the fight again. No. Listen, okay. In your statement, there's several things that like annoyed me. Okay, first off,
annoyed as well.
It annoyed me because you guys are saying it's like if
wait, let me just finish. Let me finish. And also, I think Joel was right. Would I have done what Joel did? Probably. Do I agree with what he did? Kinda. Do I think it was right? No. But would I have done it? Probably. And I think that's the difference. Maybe what that wasn't maybe the right action. But do you know who the real villains are in this story?
Fireflies.
The Fireflies. I will die on this hill. This all could have been avoided if they had been honest with
Clear
Joel.
communication.
That could have spoken to Joel was Ellie. Ellie could have convinced Joel, look, I want to do this for humanity, blah, blah, blah. Joel would have come around because Ellie would have convinced him. The Fireflies took away his decision. By taking away his decision, by taking away Ellie's decision, they caused the events of Last of Us 2.
Okay, now that we've got that over and done with, let's review what you guys just said. Okay, the Fireflies. Okay, so my first point of contention is clearly you guys weren't watching the same. You didn't play the same game I played. You guys were playing Crash Bandicoot, okay? Because the game I played, the Fireflies didn't even want to involve Joel. They were pushed against by I believe it's the IEF. In the game, like
the other military force,
in the game, they were pushed against the wall, and the head of the Fireflies wanted to put Marlene wanted to put resources against getting getting Ellie to the other side of the country for the operation. So Joel was an afterthought, and then you want me, the head of the Fireflies, to disclose like sensitive information. That's like me being a regular soldier walking up to a general and saying, hey, yo, listen, I don't think we should conduct this war. Who are you? You are the ops driver, and you're coming here telling me how I have to justify my actions to you. No. Listen, you're paid. No, listen, let me finish. You're paid from A to B. So all you have to know is A to B. I don't have to explain C and D to you. Who do you think you are? No.
Okay, Joel didn't need to know C and D, but Ellie sure as hell needed to know about C and D because Ellie was going for a little operation, minor invasive. Yeah, Joel takes her there. They're talking about she ain't making it off the table. Well, nobody told me or heard that, so now we got questions, and they're telling me you can't have no questions. It's happening, and their boys are there. If I want to get froggy, well,
Listen.
guess what? I got something too, and we can get froggy, and that's what Joel did.
I'm all for it. Like it's at the end of the game. At the end of the day, it's a video game. But in real life, Joel would have been gunned down fast. Like that's what makes it so interesting because
No, he wouldn't have.
he would have. No, listen. This man by himself took on a fortified fortress. He took on a fortified.
They don't have any skill on the battlefield.
No,
he would have quenched that whole hospital.
No. He's not John Wick. He's not John Wick. Let's get it straight.
I think Joel is John Wick.
Yeah, John Wick can do it. Jason Bourne can do it. Joel's none of them. My man's pushing 50. He's not that.
Yeah.
Guy.
Is that guy? I'm sorry, Joel is that guy.
No. Joel gets clapped by John Wick and Jason Bourne any day.
Do you see how much he crouches around? Yeah, he's got strong knees, bro. Strong knees. He can take them all out.
Is that the definition of a strong man? Strong knees.
Don't talk to someone with Meg Thee Stallion knees. Yeah, he can do anything.
No, I'm sorry. Listen. As like when you like objectively look at the situation, Marlene was looking at it. There's the needs of the many compared to the needs of the few, and Joel said, "Bun that." Ellie is now my surrogate daughter who I've just bonded with over a couple months, and therefore I'm now going to wage war against everyone because you didn't tell me that she's the reason of why I'm dropping her off. Like, listen, you're my upstriver, okay? This is not the first. We've done this deal before where you have taken packages for me from A to B. Suddenly you've grown a conscience, not even a conscience. He didn't grow a conscience. You got attached to this little girl, and suddenly you're now questioning my methods, which I've paid you. No. You're just as bad as I am, so don't come telling me that how you're on the moral high ground.
No way.
No, he's not. First of all, you are reducing the relationship that Joel built with Ellie. That's the first point you're doing. Second of all,
it's a year of blood, sweat, and tears.
No, but that's my point. My point is that how is Marlene meant to know? How is Marlene meant to know this relationship that's fully cultivated?
Marlene took away Ellie's decision. She took away Joel's decision too. She took away two different decisions from people.
No,
Ellie had a right to know. Ellie, the thing is, Ellie would have said yes. That's what's worse. Ellie would have said yes, and she would have convinced Joel. She would have been like, Joel, I really want to do this because when you play, when you
that's what you guys are saying. I think Ellie would have gone a different way. I think if Ellie had known at the beginning, she may have initially said yes and told Joel and said, Joel, take me there. But after that year they spent, especially that winter season, Ellie saying, listen, I've been through too much, to die now. So you guys gonna have to hold it for a couple of years. I'm gonna hit 21.
Nah.
You
don't understand Ellie's character, bro.
And then holler at me.
No, when you see the character of Ellie, she's had people die on her behalf, even in the game. So she wants her life to mean something. And she knows she's the only person that can do this thing. So therefore, she would have definitely done it. Now, this is what Joel would have done, most likely. He would have realized that Ellie is a 14-year-old girl, so therefore she can't make life-changing decisions. So he would have went blasting anyway.
And Marlene, you said that Marlene knows that, right? You said that Marlene knows that about Ellie, that she's very giving and stuff. Yeah. So why wouldn't you just sit her down and talk to her?
Yeah, why wouldn't you tell her that she would die?
No, okay, listen. That's Marlene's only flaw.
You took away her decision. You took away her right to choose. And that is why Joel gunned your ass down.
Listen, Marlene, that's her only character flaw. That's her only flaw in the entire game.
It's a massive flaw, bro.
No. Listen, you know what I am? You know why I agree with Ellie? Not Ellie, with Marlene, because she's one of those generals where it's like, listen, I will do some heinous things, but you can try me when humanity survives. So you can put me on trial, you can do all you want to me, you can execute me. As long as humanity survives, you could do anything you want to me afterwards. But until then, I'm the Batman. I'm in charge. Okay?
That sounds like Thanos to me.
I am Caesar.
That sounds like Thanos to me too. That sounds like some god complex that she needs to be taken down a peg or two. And she needs to start explaining to people her actions. You're not above. You are not a god, yeah? You don't get to decide.
No. I'm not a god, but I'm the leader of the Fireflies. My decisions carry weight.
So you still have to be accountable for your actions. You just don't do what
to
you
who?
want to do.
No one can check me. I'm the leader.
No, they'll
I'm
be
accountable. The only people I'm accountable to, the only people I'm accountable to is the reason why I'm fighting. I'm fighting on behalf of humanity, so humanity can hold me accountable. But if you're my
And
lieutenant,
how far
you
does that
do as
get
I
you?
say.
Let me find out how far that got you.
That's
How
because
far
what
did it get
happened in
her?
the end. No, listen. Okay, we have to
What
be very
happened in
clear
the
about
end
this.
is a direct result of her hubris, thinking that she can
It
do
wasn't
whatever she
hubris.
wants.
It was
It was.
it
It
wasn't
was.
hubris.
To
It
take
wasn't
someone's
arrogance.
life
It
without
was
their knowledge.
pragmatism. It was
That is
pragmatism.
hubris.
She was
That's
like,
a god complex,
no,
and
it's
she got
not. It's
checked
not
for
a
that
god complex
immediately.
because at no time, at every single stage, you've always seen her as a mortal. She's never infallible. She does make mistakes, and that's the point. So she didn't have an arrogance. She saw it as a pragmatism. She was like, listen, it's either Ellie's life, who she even says, who I've come to care about as my own daughter, or it's the rest of the world. That's a crazy decision, and that's a crazy decision to make. So even
Let her never be my mother because, boy, the way she's able to sacrifice somebody who she's
Quick,
come to care about, let her
without even
never
that's
care.
because
telling them as
that's
well.
because
Yeah.
her principles and her morals go above
Let
that
her
of
never care
familial
about me.
bonds and ties, and that's the problem.
Imagine she would have seen her before the op, yeah, and been like, "I see you when you wake up," knowing she ain't waking up. Cold hearted, bro.
That's what it means to be the leader. That's what it means to be the leader. You
Nah.
have to make tough decisions. You have to make tough
A
decisions.
leader who's not accountable to anything will fall for everything. I don't know what the saying is, but that is what happened to her.
No.
That's exactly
What
what
happened
happened
to
to
her
her.
is that Joel got what
Yep.
you call it. He got cold feet because suddenly he
He
found
didn't
this
get
long
cold feet.
lost
That was
daughter
never
of his.
happening. Let's
He
face it.
found this long lost daughter of his, and suddenly he's like, "Listen, I'm your ups driver. I'm your taxi driver, but suddenly I've become your dad." Do you know how wild that is? That
But like
I
that is
I go from San Francisco. I'm like, "Yeah, you're my taxi driver," and then by the end of when you get to New York, suddenly you're my dad. That's
yeah, bro.
wild.
After a year of wolves, zombies, and cannibals, yeah, we're blood brothers, we're blood sisters, we're father, son,
So
grandma, uncle.
my point,
Yeah, we've been in the trenches, bro.
So my point is that how was Marlene meant to know that? How was Marlene meant to know that suddenly Joel, who has consistently been my taxi driver, has suddenly become this dad out of nowhere? How was she meant to know? Because if we're being genuinely honest, if Marlene knew about the surgery, she would have sat Joel down and said, "Listen, I know you think of her as your daughter, but this is what's going on. Blah 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 blah." I honestly think that Marlene would have
No,
done
she
that.
wouldn't have done that.
She would have
I've
done
just
that. No, no.
no. Listen. I have just replayed the scene because I did it for this podcast. And when Joel bursts in there, they immediately do like, "You're not taking her. You're not taking. You're not taking." So they purposely knew that he was going to. So they did know. They knew he was going to react
Yeah.
like that. That's why they tried to keep him away so that they could. And so the surgeon immediately turns to her with a knife, saying, don't come." So they knew he was going to react like
Talking
that.
about, of course they knew. If I hear gunshots outside my
Yeah,
door, and
so
then
why
suddenly
the hell did
someone
you
comes
see him
in and
down
says,
there?
I mean,
I'm about
yeah.
to perform this like operation that's about to kill
I
this
was
young
They
girl, and then
knew
some
what they
guy
were
comes
doing.
in
They
who
just
was
all right.
the
protect.
person that was leading her.
Let's just
Yeah,
use the analogy. Yeah,
obviously this man's come to kill me. What are you talking about? Can you
let's
imagine?
just use the analogy. Yeah. So Obsidian, right? Yeah, Anzi's dropping you off, yeah, to the hospital. Yeah, you've been speaking. You've been told this. Someone needs blood. You got a rare blood type. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're dropping you off. Yeah, minor invasive. They'll see you later, right? Drop you off at the reception. Now they're talking to Anzi about how you're not making it back out. Yeah, it's a one-way trip. Yeah, Anzi's like, we need to discuss this. They're like, nah, it's done. It's happening. It's now. Yeah, and then they got guards and everything there looking like what you want to do. What do you think's happening?
Well, I'm going. If that was me, if someone told that, if Anzi told me that, oh yeah, 1-2 surgery, in out, I'll be like, okay, cool. And then I find out I'm going in guns blazing because I'm killing everybody there. Okay, that's me. Now, this is the analogy of The Last of Us. Anzi gets dropped off by a taxi.
I'm tired of this taxi.
Hold on. Let me
driver.
finish.
It doesn't make
Anzi
any
gets
sense.
dropped off by a taxi. Now, they've
Yeah.
had a stimulating conversation from her house to the hospital. Stimulating. This taxi driver is like a Nigerian uncle who's like finally sees the daughter in Anzi. She sees him. He's like, yes, like Anzi's doing well. She has her own business. This is amazing. He then drops her off. And then Anzi says, all right, I'm going to see you later. And then the taxi driver overhears the nurse talking about how the surgery is going to be crazy. What do you honestly think that taxi man's going to do?
Yeah, get it cracking, bro. 5
You honestly
stars.
think a random
5
stranger?
stars.
No, hold on. You honestly think a random stranger? Do you know what? I'll the best that random stranger will do for you would be maybe call the police, but they're not risking their life for you. And that's what we thought. That's what Marlene thought Joe was.
Yeah,
Joe was meant
that's
to be
Joel
the
is not
taxi
random
man, and he
shooter.
comes up being family member. I'm like, yo, whoa, what's going on here?
All right. We've all done our points. We're going over time now. Dark Knight, Obsidian Fury really thinks that Joel was just a taxi driver.
He was.
OG
That's what I hired you to do.
He's moving mad. I forever will be on Joel's side. We stand with Joel.
Imagine.
But I can also appreciate why Abby did what she did, because Ellie would have done the same thing.
I appreciate why. Yeah, Ellie would have, and Ellie did do the same thing. But
she would have gone through hell and high water to get revenge.
So would Tommy. So would Tommy. All of them would do it.
So would Joel.
At the end of the day, if it's an eye for an eye, who came for whose eyes first? Yeah, they came for Ellie first. They started it. Joel finished it. Abby wanted to start it again. Yeah, she should have stayed at home.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Thank you, guys. That's it. No more opinions here. Thanks, guys, for listening. Please like and all of that sort of stuff, and we will be doing more of our hot takes in our next podcast as well. So I've been here with Obsidian Fury, Energy Attacking.
What's going on?
Yeah. Keep OG, guys. Peace.
In a bit, gang.
Bye, guys.